3:18, and I'm calling this week's legislative body meeting to order. First up is roll call. Vice President Balf is here. Senator Biagini.
Here.
Graphic Designer Kurtai. Here. Chief of Staff Zabolski. Here. Treasurer Bell. Here. DDE Frank. Here. Senator Garibay is excused. Recording Secretary Hildebrand. Here. Senator Laurie. Here. Comms Director Lucero. Here. PPT Mahone. Here. Senator McKinney. Here. Senator Ohm. Here. Senator Petrovsky. Here. President Rangel. Here. Senator Roberts. Here. Senator Sharifi. Here. Dewey Smith. Here. Senator Stout is excused. Parliamentarian Wraith. Here. All right, perfect. First up, we have the approval of last week's minutes. So, well, it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. Welcome back from spring break. We had Black Diamond 2 with us here. I don't really remember what happened last week. I'm not gonna lie.
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. It looks like we really just had updates from most people, and then we talked about elections tabling, because elections happened! Oh my god, that's what happened, guys. Elections tabling happened 2 weeks ago, and we talked about town hall, and our senator of the week was Haley, who's not here today, but we do have a new senator of the week for this week. And then we started up Student Innovation Committee, so they officially met last Wednesday for the first time at 7 p.m. So if you're a part of the Student Innovation Committee, be in the office on Wednesdays at 7, because that's when you meet. And then I think new business. DDE Frank suggests Senator Petrovsky check in on presses of vending machines. Okay, cool. We just talked about the culinary initiative. Is everyone cool with last week's minutes? Senator Petrovsky motions to approve them. Senator McKinney seconds. Lovely. So this week, we have a guest speaker, Becky Spritz, Dean of Arts and Sciences, so we'll be hearing from her in a moment. And then we have very few reports. We have a welcome to our new Chief of Staff, Zabolski, and then we've got Finance Committee has Spring 2 funding to approve today. We're going to do some town hall updates, and we're going to DC this Friday, so we'll also talk about that during announcements. Okay, so I think most things are not really going to be reports of what's happened this past week, but more so talking about the last 8 weeks and like what we have on the schedule, okay? So who wants to approve this week's agenda? Senator Petrovsky, and Senator Roberts seconds. Lovely. So, well, Becky, you have the floor. Welcome.
Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. I don't have anything really formal to present to you today, but I so appreciate the opportunity to speak with you and to meet you. I'm relatively new, as some of you may know, to the School of Arts and Sciences. My first day was July 1st, so I say relatively new. It's nice to see some familiar faces who I've seen around. And so I just wanted to tell you a little bit about me, about who I am, about what I'm hoping that I can work with students and faculty on in the School of Arts and Sciences, and to hear from all of you about any questions, concerns, initiatives that might align really well with our school that I can help to carry forward. So, as I mentioned, I moved here over the summer, started on July 1st. But a little bit about me is I'm originally from the Pittsburgh area, so I grew up in Monroeville. I was a Gateway Gator. I don't know if anyone's local, but was a Gator. And then I did my undergraduate and graduate work at Penn State. So my area was psychology, and I did my bachelor's, my master's, and my PhD there. So I am trained officially as a child and family clinical psychologist. After that, I went, as part of your PhD in clinical psychology, you do an internship, pre-doctoral internship. So I moved to Rhode Island, and I did that at the Brown School of Medicine. And then, you know, things happen. Life happens, and I was in Rhode Island for longer than most of you are alive, I think. But I taught at a couple of different institutions. I spent most of my career at a school that's similar, actually, to Point Park, which is Roger Williams University. Roger Williams has about 4,000 undergrads and a couple of grad programs. I taught in the psychology department before I started doing other things, and I feel so lucky to have spent so much of my career there. I directed the honors program for a number of years. Then I moved into administration, and I was the associate dean for the School of Arts and Sciences there, so I got my feet wet a little bit in that position. And then I ended my career there as the associate provost. And what I feel really lucky about was by trying those many different positions at one institution, I was able to really find what my sweet spot is in terms of a leadership role. So when I had the opportunity, when the position of the Dean of Arts and Sciences opened up, Dean Ankney in the School of Comm reached out. He knew me from some other professional circles, and I feel lucky. I applied. I've been here since July, but the interview process was last January, so I got to know the school a little bit better. What else can I tell you about me? So yeah, back in the area. What attracted me about coming back to Point Park, again, I knew about Point Park because I was from around here, but I saw so much change and development in the university since that time when I had been here. So many exciting things happened and are happening. And arts and sciences really is the sweet spot for me because I've had that previous experience, because my discipline is in psychology. And I love the diversity of programs, right? So 4 different departments that are wildly different, from engineering to literature, culture and society, to psychology, to CGIS. So I get to work with a lot of different faculty and a lot of different students who are passionate about many different things. I really see my job here and to do a couple of things. First and foremost, to serve you all as students. Even if you're not a student in arts and sciences, I think that it's my job as dean to be an advocate for students. I hope to strengthen and invigorate the programs in arts and sciences. I think that, what I heard is that some people didn't even know we had a School of Arts and Sciences, right, at Point Park. So I want to change that. I want to really showcase that. So again, thinking about ways I can serve the students and thinking about ways I can collaborate across the university. I really love interdisciplinary programs. I think there's a lot that can be done. I was meeting with Dean Tanzilli from the School of Business today to talk about collaborations, pathways forward. So say you're a psychology major, but you decide you want to get your MBA. Let's figure out how to make that happen with a fast track for you, right? So my initiatives in the fall, what did I do in the fall? I met with all of my faculty. We were about 35 full-time faculty in arts and sciences. Met with students and tried to start some of those conversations. I made some collaborations and just tried to get to know Point Park. So I volunteered at Pioneer Pantry. I started collaborating with the Highmark Caring Place around the corner. This semester, I'm actually teaching a course. It teaches psychology and funeral sciences students. It's a special topics course on grieving children and families in partnership with the Caring Place. And I'm teaching a course at the Allegheny County Jail with incarcerated women on anger management. So getting to know the city, getting to know the place, and working with my faculty on a mission and a vision and a strategic plan. So now we just need to hear some student voices in that too. It's a little bit about me. And I just open it up for questions. Like I said, I just wanted you to get to know me a little bit, unless there was something more specifically you needed me to speak to.
I mean, I think a good starting point would be like, if there was someone who didn't know we had arts and sciences at all, like what would you point out as like the biggest strengths to like advertise?
Yeah, I think that the biggest strengths of our arts and sciences is it serves at the foundation of a Point Park education, right? So you all take core courses. I know sometimes that doesn't go as well as other times, but you all do. And so really thinking about how arts and sciences serves is that cornerstone, right, of students' education. My background, I did a lot in community engagement and community engaged partnerships. And one of the things that I want to build on in terms of strengths for arts and sciences is experiential learning opportunities, more internships. Again, in my work with the county jail, one of the things I'm working with them on is volunteer opportunities for students, and at the Caring Place too. So those are things I want to strengthen. I think we have a lot of those, right? We have labs that are built into a lot of our courses in arts and sciences, and in clubs that are actively involved. But I think we can do more, and that's really fun.
Yeah, hi. You mentioned also a background in community engagement and wanting to incorporate that into the School of Arts and Sciences. Are you in communication much with the Center for Civic and Community Engagement and
Don't
Heather
forget
over
to
there?
introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, and also I'm Devin Frank and I'm the Director of Downtown Engagement.
Nice.
So I also do a lot of engagement with the downtown area.
I'm sorry, I have not met you before. Yeah, that
I'm
sounds
sorry, I
like
have not met you.
one of the first things that we have to do is to get together, to hear more. Yeah, Heather Starfiedler was one of the first people that I introduced myself to, and she and I have been meeting regularly to talk about what things we can do to strengthen, but the more the merrier in those conversations. And I also met with Tahira Walker, who does our PhD in community engagement today. So we're talking about ways we can do more incorporation of those kinds of things in pathways in arts and sciences. So I didn't bring any cards with me, but I bet you can find me.
What would you be willing to stay after and I can give you my email or something?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to.
Wonderful, thank you so much.
Sure.
I have a question.
Please, I'm sorry about that too.
Oh, no, you're fine. I know that's kind of hard to. But what do you do on your day-to-day? What do you oversee, may I ask?
Yeah, so I have a lot of meetings and answer a lot of emails. That's really the short answer of what I do. But the idea is that I'm working with the faculty, especially in arts and sciences, on all of the nuts and bolts that relate to their programs. So in the fall, I worked with the School of the Natural Sciences and Engineering programs. They were going up for accreditation, right, for their ABET accreditation, so I was doing a lot with that. Good question. I meet with all of my department chairs as a group and individually. I solve problems. I think that's actually my favorite part about being a dean is I love it when people bring problems for me to try to solve with them. I'm a collaborator. If I don't know the answer, I'm going to try to figure out who does and help us figure out ways forward. So I do that a lot. I'll have the students who come see me with questions, and as well as faculty who come see me with questions and try to work on things. As I mentioned, I've been doing a lot too on our strategic initiatives. So really identifying what are some goals for arts and sciences for this year and for the next 5 years, right? So I tell people I'm not planning on going anywhere. Right, so I know that there's been a lot of change in leadership at Point Park in the last few years. That's one of the things that I heard, especially from the faculty in arts and sciences. So I'm here to provide some stability, and do that, I think, easiest by building relationships with other people. So I kind of lean in and focus on that a lot. Sort of answers your question. I can send you my calendar.
Do we have anyone in this room that falls into that category of College of Arts and Sciences?
Yay! My people!
It's forever been dear to me because they sorted me into the wrong onboarding group on freshman orientation. So I've always been a little bit confused about whether political science is political science arts and sciences or is it LCS?
Arts and Science, I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
Arts and Sciences has 4 departments.
Okay, LCS.
It has Literature, Culture, and Society, Natural Sciences and Engineering, Psychology, and Criminal Justice and Intelligence Studies. Right? So it's a lot of different departments, but it is confusing, right? Yes.
Hi, I'm Sienna Riggs. My question is basically, it might be a long shot, but are there there's been a lot of confusion that I've in my experience I've heard about what's happening with the social justice studies program, because as of last year it was still listed on the website as a degree you could take. So are there any plans to incorporate those classes into different majors? Are they going to bring it back as a full degree? If you could provide some clarification on that, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't have the answer today, but I have been working with Dr. Handley, who's the chair for LCS, to try to figure out what we want to do with sorting out those programs. I know there was a lot of question and confusion, and I know there's a lot of popularity around those courses, right? That there's courses that students really like to take. So we could, right, like you said, we could move those courses into some of the other programs that are in LCS or in some of the other majors. But I want to take a look at and really find out where where our passions are, right? And really think about an identity for each of the departments as well as for the school. So I'm trying to take this year to work and sort through some of those things, but I'd be happy to come back to a future meeting to share with you where we are. Sorry, I don't have an answer.
Oh, no,
But I'm glad you asked the question. It's good for me to know that those are that I'm asking the right questions and that I'm looking for.
freshman year, I actually one of the big things when I was coming to Point Park was I had been here for social justice studies, and then finding out they got rid of that they weren't offering the degree when I had committed to Point Park was kind of a bummer, but I'm glad they're trying to just figure out what's happening with that, so they can clear up that confusion.
Thank you. And excuse me, I know, yeah, 1 second. If you come in as a Point Park student under a Point Park degree, we should be honoring that degree, right, for you. That's kind of, you come in sort of married to your catalog year, whatever that is. So we want to find a way, right, for you to be able to complete the degree that you started in. Now, the only thing I can add is that sometimes if programs get really, really small,
Yes.
you're not getting the greatest experience, right? Because if you're doing an entire program of independent studies, that's not why you came, right, to college. That's not the college experience. So, I mean, I would be happy to sit down with you and take a look at that and sort that out, or I know Dr. Hanley would be willing to do that too.
That would be great.
Yep. So, email becky.spritz@pointpark.edu, right? Easy to find me.
Sorry, one more quick thing.
Please.
I am a film major, but I'm planning on declaring and pursuing a psychology minor.
Woo!
Just moving forward, as a newly appointed dean of the department, do you have any plans in the near future to alter many of the degrees and the requirements for such, just so I can, students like myself and others can adequately, prepare?
Yeah. So similar to this question, right? We want to make sure that you can preserve the degree, right, in the way that you came in under your catalog. I'm trying to provide stability, right? So I'm not looking to sunset any programs immediately. I'm not looking to change degree requirements, except maybe to streamline, but that wouldn't be to add more requirements, right? It would be to really help. And I'll use the example that our engineering programs are really credit heavy, right? They require a lot of credits. I'd like as much as possible for us to take a look at how can we streamline that, right? There's some things we can't move because it's part of, again, our ABET accreditation. But there might be some other ways that we can give students more flexibility in their course sequences and more electives for them to choose from. I think that's a really important part. So no immediate plans to do anything like that.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Something that I think would be a good idea to look into, just because I know I was interested in it, and I've talked to other people that were interested in this. It's more of a big overtaking. Possibly getting back chemistry minors for biology majors.
Do you mind if I use your?
Yeah, go for it.
Just so we could on that. Yep.
Just because I know I would have done that personally, whenever I figured out my major. And I know that we had that program, that possibility in the past, and then it had to be kind of I think we got rid of it because it was too, the courses overlapped too much as a bio major trying to get into chemistry. But just something to look into.
I appreciate it. And so that, we've got our community engagement. We've got our SJS. What else? Psychology minors. Yeah, great, thank you.
Anything else? All right, well, thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure. You know where to find me? Okay, yeah. Don't be a stranger. 4th floor, academic hall. Just get off the elevators and the arrows will point you to me. I do have office hours posted, so or you can feel free to email me and happy to set up a time. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And congratulations to the new leaders because of the elections. Yeah, very excited.
I just asked about how we're announcing that because I need to figure out how we're announcing that. First open floor. Does anyone have anything for their first open floor? Okay, I have something for our first open floor. I saw a poster that said that esports are trying to get a petition to get another coach in. I don't know, do you guys want to endorse that? I think it could be good to be like, yeah, SGA thinks that they should have a second coach. Yeah, Tatum?
Does esports fall under like, are they an NCAA sport?
They
Or how does that work?
used to be, but like, it's weird because somehow students still have scholarships. Yes.
Geeski?
Esports is not is not a part of athletics. It was when we were in NAIA, it was a recognized varsity sport, but the NCAA does not recognize it as a varsity sport, so it technically falls under student affairs as a club sport because of that. So I would recommend, before you agree to the petition, is to make sure you understand why maybe we don't currently have that, just so you have all the information, and if in the end you all, of course, agree that it's something that we should do, you absolutely should support that. But I would make sure to know sort of what the criteria is for why we would or why we wouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody knows anybody on the esports team, I think I know at least one person who is, we could just gather information of like, why do you think this is useful? And what reasons do you have that this would be a good idea and a worthy investment?
Yeah, so I'm gauging that the general interest of the room wants to talk esports and find out more? Yeah, is that what we're interested in doing?
Yeah. Well, coach won't be there.
He's there online.
Online?
We'll talk to him.
Okay, yeah. All right, our esports members will figure this out and bring it to me, and I will bring it to Ledge Squad next Monday, okay? So if you guys want to talk to them and bring it to me, then that sounds good. Yeah? Easky?
I would also say talk to Dean Palo. He's the one that oversees that, and so get from him sort of the whys and why nots of what we can and can't do, just so you have all that information.
I can reach out to Palo, if that works, and then I'll CC you guys, because he might be more likely, he's more likely to respond. Sorry. Sorry, what's your name?
Keiko Johnson?
Keiko Johnson.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, just for clarification, from my understanding of what the purpose of this petition was for, was mainly to broaden the games available for esports, because right now we're stuck with the 3 games that we have right now, and it's kind of hard to add more games to it because of the lack of coaches that we have. So that was the kind of the goal of the petition. I think from understanding like what happened with all of that, it's not necessarily like we're struggling with getting it, it's just we need more, like we need to know if the interest is there for us to commit to adding another coach in, is kind of what the purpose of that petition was.
Thank you.
Coming from a Valorant player, by the way.
Signed Valorant player. Got it. Anything else for our first open floor? We'll have more to talk about this next week. Yes, Senator McCain.
I want to talk about just the laundry room as a whole.
Okay, facts.
Mainly the fact that the dryers don't dry the clothes properly, even though most students do clean out the lint patch. However, I feel like the vents themselves that lead out of the dryers are very, very clogged, and that can be a massive fire hazard, which also explains why it's at least 10 degrees higher in that whole floor in general than the rest of the floors, and I feel like we should maybe look into that, because that could be a public safety issue.
Okay, so just double checking that the laundry room is safe, because it's really hot in there. Yeah. We just so you know, we did just get new washers and dryers last year, unfortunately. That these are the brand new ones. So it might be the venting. I don't know. We can see if they're interested in
Absolutely
checking
gonna make that phone call when we're done. Yes.
Thank you.
To find out, without a doubt.
Parliamentarian Ray.
Oh, I was just gonna say in regards to the washing machines, I know that earlier this semester, Student Life Science emailed telling people that like don't overload the machines, it could break the machines. So I think like kind of encourage people to be like, hey, don't overload the machines because it can like damage the machines that we just got this past year, and like kind of like during like laundry room etiquette things. I feel like people not using the machines properly can lead to like them getting damaged or broken.
The favorite thing I love to say to you all, I believe about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, you got an email, those that live in Lawrence, specifically talking about this, because we did hear about the problem, so we're trying to address it a few ways. And one that we heard, it was being overloaded and people weren't, taking the lid out. So there should have been an email that was sent to everybody who lives in Lawrence, giving those details. But I will absolutely make sure to follow up about yeah, so we are trying, I promise. And we have some larger plans for the future regarding it.
Nice, okay,
So,
so they're on it.
so yes, we are absolutely on it.
They're doing things. Okay, anything else for our first open floor? Okay. We don't have many reports, but we do have one item of new business, so. First, the executive reports. Chief of Staff Zabolski, new Chief of Staff, welcome.
So, I'm pretty much just here to keep everyone back in line and make sure everything is running smoothly. It should be. I'm taking over Elliot's job.
Yeah, so Chief of Staff Gary has actually gotten a full-time position somewhere, no idea where. It's here. But yeah,
Do you
so.
not?
Huh?
Do you not?
No, I'm joking, it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
no, I'm making a joke. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chief of Staff.
She works at SAIL.
Okay.
Like, just to be clear, yeah, like, she's the coordinator of student involvement for SAIL.
Yeah,
So she's literally right up there. They
yeah,
are right up there for forever now.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, they actually do work here. I didn't know if that was public or not.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so now it's Gary. I guess they're just Gary. That's kind of weird. Gary. They're just Gary?
Gary, Gary.
They're just Elliot. I don't know if you're gonna call him Elliot now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What do you call Keely?
I guess that's fair. I'll ask Elliot. Do they want to be Elliot or Gary? So now we have a new Chief of Staff, Sabolski.
Not long.
Okay, so that, you don't have to clap again, I'm just sorry.
Yeah. It is. Anyway, exec cap, if you have not reached out to me, please do, for scheduling one-on-ones. I have pretty much everyone, but a couple people haven't, but it's fine. So,
Lovely,
Yeah.
thank you, welcome. All right, from our committees, we have finance, spring 2, we're voting on today, so we'll vote on that in new business. Sam, if you have anything to say about that now.
no, just talk about it in new business.
Sounds good. And then comms, we have a town hall update from our comms director, Lucero.
Okay, so town hall is on Wednesday at 5, if anyone wants to make it. But I also wanted to ask you guys, so if you guys are familiar with like the setup that we had last semester, it was kind of like, it's gonna be the same thing. It was like, we would bring up topics, kind of prompt the students into talking about certain things, and then also just like open it up to whatever needed discussed in the students' opinions. But I just wanted to see if you guys had any thoughts on what needs to be discussed at this town hall, or any topics that you want to see brought up. Yeah.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume culinary is already
Yeah, we can
on
keep
the
all that
farm.
on there.
Okay. Because that's been like the center of discussion for months.
PPT Mahon.
Yeah, I think a good topic would be just to ask students what the best way to like reach them for feedback is, because historically when we've done emails and such, people don't respond to them.
I'm writing this all down, so yes, thank you.
Dewey Smith.
Do you have any idea of like, if there's any topics you want to try to avoid? Because I know there's been controversial stuff lately.
No, we do
No?
not want to avoid anything.
Perfect, cool. That's all I wanted to ask.
Senator
I
McKinney.
just have a question on where town hall is at.
We have not booked it yet.
No, it is booked.
Oh,
It's
just
at the
kidding.
ballroom.
My bad.
Everything's already set up, so it's at the ballroom. There's gonna be catering, there's gonna be like dinner, like chicken wings, fries,
Okay.
cake. It's Minecraft themed.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I get out of work right at 5.
Yeah, ballroom, Lawrence, 5 to 7 on this Wednesday. So in 2 days.
This Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I saw that. I think that's whenever we have the second one.
Oh my gosh, we are doing two.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one this Wednesday. I didn't know that, I'm sorry. I
No,
would
that's
have made it more clear that we have. We have a town hall this Wednesday. That's so exciting. And then we also have Senator of the Week. Wait, well, sorry, are we done?
Does anyone else have any thoughts? We can move on. Okay, if anyone thinks of anything in the next few days, just text me on Slack. And then, wasn't Haley the?
Yeah,
Senator
Haley
of the
was the
Week?
Senator of the Week,
So
but
I'm not
I have
sure.
the new Senator of the Week, but we don't have the plaque here, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah, we do. Oh my God, we do?
They didn't take it.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so we do have the Senator of the Week, and we have the plaque here. This is great. Okay. Drum roll. So Haley told me to pass on that this is for your work in Multicultural Fest and just helping out and jumping right in. So thank you so much for that. Tell me who you're gonna name Best Senator of the Week next Sunday, and you get to keep that plaque until next week's meeting. All right, Senator reports. What are you up to? Let's start with the Senator of the Week.
I've been working with PPT Mahone and Senator, how do you pronounce your last name?
Biagini.
Biagini, thank you. And Senator Ohm on Culinart. And basically just trying to figure out stuff, like for me specifically, I'm looking at more allergen-friendly foods for Culinart. I know a lot of people, me included, there's a lot of foods that we can't necessarily eat. And in the dining hall, there's a very scarce amount of options for them.
Lovely, thank you. Any other reports from senators? Senator Petrovsky?
So I have my chart fully completed with 13 items from Point Cafe that I saw get sold out like more quickly than the others, so I thought those would be the most important ones. I went Point Cafe, CVS, Target, and Five Below. I went store to store, I checked their prices, and there are 2 items that don't have prices in Point Cafe because they are unlabeled, and I just haven't found, because there are quite a few foods there that are unlabeled, don't have their prices labeled, which is really frustrating, and I just haven't had time to ask people what the prices were. But of the 11 that are fully priced, 8 of them are more expensive at Point Cafe than all the other options. So I will be putting this on the 7th floor. I'll put it on the board so for people to look at and then figure out where to go from there.
Yeah, okay. DP Frank?
I'm also gonna possibly recommend, and this will be a much longer pursuit if you choose to do it. It may also be worthwhile to compare the prices of the things that get sold the least. Because, I mean, obviously the things that get sold the most may be the most popular, but it may also be a case of the things that don't get sold as much because of the price of Point Cafe.
Okay.
So comparing how often they get sold and the prices of the least popular things to those things in other places may also provide some valuable information.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to stick to reports of senators right now, so I'm sorry that I got off track. But do any other senators have anything to talk about before we can loop back and everyone can ask as many questions about this as we want? Okay, cool. Riley, what did you want to say?
Sorry for forgetting to submit a report, but I did write some pretty detailed notes on our SIG committee meeting, which are in Slack if anyone wants to look at it. It contains like a lot of the details about what we were talking about in regards to the Culinart stuff. Like we talked about a lot.
Okay,
So just
Please.
if people are curious about it.
I'm curious. Is anyone else curious?
Do you want me to like read it off or like because I can do that, but
You
I
can-
was
Maybe just give us the highlights.
yeah, I was
Cliff notes.
I was assuming that people didn't want me to take up that much time. So yeah. So we actually had 2 main things we talked about, which was a mega survey and a Culinart discussion that we had. One of the key suggestions that we were thinking of is to have like people canvass students just like as they go about their day between classes, like asking them to fill out a survey that is yet to be designed that will just give us what our priorities should be. And the idea is to have it work as an office hour for people who are wanting to like spend an hour doing that. And then also we talked about like trying to get B3 to accept meal swipes in the morning, which I think it only does currently for lunch. Dirty dishes were like a big issue in the dining hall that we feel needs to be addressed. And there was interest in wanting people to buy sushi with meal swipes.
I think it would be a good idea to set up a meeting with Todd and Christy. Is that, Giski, am I remembering the right people? For culinary meetings, Todd and Christy?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
so you should meet with those two. And if you need their contact information, you can see Giski after the meeting, please. And you can go and start building that relationship. And then you guys can start talking about different ideas that the students have and understanding why they do things the way that they do and maybe improving things for the students that way. Yeah? Okay, lovely. Anything else for our second open floor? EDE Frank?
Also, I did write a report, but I got it in like 10 minutes late last week, so I'll share it here. Armful of Flowers turned me down for collaboration.
So sorry.
And then Planscape never got back to me, so that's that.
I actually have another lead for you.
What's up?
City Grows, it's in the Strip District. I got their business card yesterday, but I didn't bring it with me, so, yeah, I'll take a picture of it and
So what was it again?
City Grows.
City Grows.
Tree Pittsburgh?
Any other leads for green stuff? I never worried about
Okay, anything else for our second open floor? Senator Petrovsky?
So over the course of spring break, there were renovations done in Lawrence Hall. However, not a single email was sent out to students or RAs saying it. So on my floor, about the renovations being done on their floors.
Which renovations?
On Lawrence Hall 17, I'm not sure about other floors. Do you have?
Because is it the floors?
Yeah, okay,
Like
17.
literally the floors?
Mhm.
Yeah, they sent out emails because that was the damage from the flooding.
Yeah, me, my roommates, and our RAs had no idea. My RA had no idea renovations were happening over spring break.
Yeah,
So none of us received emails about it.
I'm pretty sure that you probably did, I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Because I spoke to my RA about it, specifically, asking.
You should have at least.
I did. And they told me they also never got an email in their inbox.
President Rangel?
I might have. I don't think I did though, but I just walked out and they were like, don't step on the blue stuff, it's sticky.
Yeah, I walked out to make hot food and then there was wet cement. So I had to wait several hours before I could go make food.
I will say, I live on 18, and when I came in this morning, I was like, oh, there are new vinyl floors. And I'm checking my email right now, I don't see anything over spring break that told me about that either.
It does look nice.
Yeah,
It looks nice.
Yeah, it's just like, I didn't know what happened.
Yeah, being woken up at 7 a.m. to construction equipment. It was not a fun experience.
I think here's my guess, obviously someone fact check this, but I'm gonna say that they probably said, yeah, we're gonna we're just gonna fix things over spring break in the initial flooding email, and didn't specifically say that means the floors at this time for this floor. Because one thing that I have noticed the physical plant lacks is telling you when, like specifically the time that they're gonna do the project, and so you'll walk into a space and you'll be like, I'm in a construction zone now. So is that what I'm hearing, or am I
Possibly. I just think that's because there was no communication between it, so it caused a lot of problems for a lot of us who were staying over break, preventing us from doing a lot of our daily tasks like making food and doing laundry. So I just feel like it's important to bring up because no one knew about it.
Our CFO was here and she's in charge of physical plant. Do you guys remember when she was here?
Yeah.
Do we want to reach out to her and say, like, I think we said this in the meeting, but just specifically like when things are getting done needs communication? Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else on this? I swear I saw a hand in the corner of my eye. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Anything else for our second open floor? Senator Biagini.
Just one little quick note I want to add about what
we've been discussing in our culinary committee meeting, is the like kind of missing money that comes with ordering with Boost. So if like each meal plan and meal swipe is equivalent to $12, but if you order something like just a burger, that's only like $8 or $9, and where does the remaining $4 or $5 go? Like you don't get it back. And so I just want to address that we're kind of looking into that.
At our last town hall, we had a discussion about the varying price ranges of meal swipes, because I know that we were talking about like, I think somewhere a meal swipe is worth like 8 versus 10 versus 12 in different places, I think. Well, because I've used my debit card to go to the dining hall and it's cheaper than using a meal swipe. It's less than $12. So I don't know what's up with that. Giski, yeah.
So every meal is different. Breakfast costs different than lunch, which costs different than dinner. So it depends on when you're using. So the idea is the meal swipe is up to whatever the equivalent is for that meal, but it is a meal swipe. So it's not flex. So you're deciding, in all fairness, that whether you, for whatever reasons, and there's thousands of reasons, you're deciding instead of going to the dining hall, you're going to take that meal swipe and use it somewhere else. But it's not equivalent to dollars. It's up to amount because you could add more. So you could get, the idea is I want to do the meal swipe, but I also want to add something else. So then you would have to use some of your flex. So what they had to do was give a price to every meal so that if you needed to go up to more, then you would have to add more to it. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
So that's why, but it's not an equivalent. If you're going to breakfast and you're using, I don't even think you can. If you're going to lunch and you're using a meal swipe, you're not using the actual dollar amount. You're using one of your 14 meals is what you're doing, right? So it's the equivalent of your meal and you're just using it in a different place. So you're not using flex, you're using that meal swipe is what you are using. The idea of giving a dollar amount to it is that if you want to add more than just what is the equivalent of the meal swipe, you would then add the additional flex dollars.
Treasurer Bell.
I haven't had a meal plan in 2 years now, but I remember freshman and sophomore year, and someone can tell me if this is still the case, you can't use a meal swipe and combine it with flex dollars or your own money to build up more. So, like, I was not able to do that for the first 2 years. I know they changed some of it.
Right, that's right. That is the part that got, that part, yeah.
It got changed.
Yeah, that's what got changed. You can now add more, which is where the dollar amount value came from, to know when to add more.
Okay.
I would also like to add, like, the value of a meal swipe is sort of like an up to this quantity and not an exactly this quantity. Because I mean, like, there are the things on Boost that are worth exactly 12 if you want exactly that value, but there's almost, I guess, that expectation of like, if you're only going to spend, you're only going to get something worth $9 and you're using a $12 value that is sort of separate from a strict, like, monetary value, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
And also, in some fairness, like if you think of the dining hall, for $12 at the dining hall, you could get like 1 donut or like 3 plates of food. So the strict like value of a meal swipe is flexible. I was doing it, I was like 6, 7, so I tried to switch it up. I think I understand the concern, but I think in the grand scheme of all the culinary stuff, this might be a later step to look into. I think there are more pressing discussions for culinary demand.
Well, this is actually something that we switched last year. So because Boost used to only be able to take 1 meal swipe a day, not during period. And so they added it at like our SGA last year got it, so that way you could do 1 meal swipe at like a meal period. Yeah. So we actually have been fairly successful in flexing how Boost works. So that actually is a pretty entry-level project that you could work on in culinary.
It's just different in that you got to understand the idea of the meal swipe. the meal equivalent, is to take one of your 14 or 19 meals and use it somewhere else, so you're not using flex. If you know that for this meal, if you have 14 meals, and you know you only eat twice a day, every day, 7 days a week, there's your 14 meals. If one of those meals is not going to be taken in the dining hall, and you want to use it somewhere else, the idea is you can, knowing that you won't need it for the dining hall later, and you won't have to use your flex. Like, that's the purpose of it. It's not, again, it's not equivalent dollar to dollar. It's about making sure that you don't lose your meal swipes or use too much of your flex when you want to just you want to grab a meal and you don't want to do it in the dining hall for whatever the reasons are. It's meant to make sure you're not burning your meals. It's not meant to equate to your flex dollars.
All right, are we good on that conversation, everyone? Yeah? Anything else for our second open floor? Okay, Sly, we're gonna move to new business. So we just have one vote today. It is for spring funding 2. Does anyone want to motion to discuss spring funding 2? Senator McKinney, does anyone want to second? Senator Ohm, thank you. All right, so Treasurer Bell, tell us about this.
Looks like some of my formulas broke, I don't know how. So we had a total of $9,200 in requests for spring 2, which is great because our budget is $10,000, so coming right in under budget. Couple notable things, BSU requested a lot of money. They're having several cool events, some of which will be catered, which is where most of that is coming from. Another big one is the print request for Photo Collective. They had some booklets for one of their events that could not be printed on campus, so they have to go to an outside print shop for that. And then Point Park Outdoors Club, they are a new club, we just approved them this semester. They are in the process of training their treasurer, so that is pending approval through Keeley. And that's kind of seed money to build up an inventory of outdoors equipment for them. We'll work with the sale office to keep track of it and make sure that the inventory is held correctly on the 3rd floor, since that is a pretty significant investment. Next up was Catholic Crew. They were one of the other big requests. They requested a bunch of books, some Bibles and some other Catholic documentation. And then, I don't know what to call it, religious paraphernalia. SAA requested stuff for their networking event, which is a pretty big event, lots of catering for that.
Not biased at all.
No, not biased at all. It's a great event. And then they also requested stuff for their mobile meetings. And Sportscom requested a new monitor as well as some other broadcasting equipment, I think including a soundboard. Those are all the big ticket items, but I and Finance Committee recommend you approve this.
Any questions about any of this? Okay, all those in favor of approving spring 2 funding, please raise your hands. You don't get a vote. No, I don't. No.
You're
Okay.
excited.
Does the PPT
Oh, you're right, you do get a vote.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you were DDE for a second. Okay, 1.
You
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, all those opposed? All those abstained? Okay, it's unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
We did it.
Okay, and with that, we move to announcements. DC trip this Friday. Go to the sale office with $10 cash to reserve a seat. We're gonna leave at 7, 6. Who knows? 6 or 7. We will be leaving. I'm sorry, it wasn't funny. And then we also have a town hall on Wednesday at
5 to 7 in Lawrence Ballroom.
Okay, slide. So that's all that's coming up this week. Any other announcements,
Can you
President
explain
Rangel?
the $10 cash thing?
Explain it?
Like, they get that back, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's a $10 deposit for your seat, and then when you get off the bus in DC, they hand it back to you. It's just so that way the sale office knows that you're reserving a seat and are like invested in it. essentially.
It's because you gotta get up at 5 in the morning, and if you don't get up 5 in the morning, we're keeping your $10 because somebody else would have taken that seat. And that is truly why we're doing, we're not trying to take your money anyway. It is a very early morning. You all are not really good at getting up early in the morning. And so years ago, we found a way to try and encourage you. Some of you will sleep right through that $10, and that's your business, but that's truly what it's for. It's just to make sure that if you take a seat,
President Rangel?
I'll also pass along a little announcement from Kiwi about the DC trip. She said no to non-Point Park students coming with you. So if you have a friend and is not a PPU student, you can.
and that's because of our own rules. We are using student activities fee money to help sponsor this trip. So it has to be students that use the trip, that's why.
Okay. And then the last thing I want to say is if you are in Student Innovation Committee, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. upstairs, that's when you are meeting, so please be at your meeting. Thank you very much. And with that, the meeting is adjourned. I'll see you guys next Monday.